Alright guys, Raw Wrestler here, and today I'm going to be reviewing NXT Takeover New York. Now I apologise, there hasn't been a video on my channel for very long. I've been very busy. I'm going to be moving out of my house here in Crosstrend. I'm going to be moving in with my girlfriend Sherelle. We're going to be moving in like a week. So a week after WrestleMania, that is a perfect time to move in. It's WrestleMania weekend. The first show of WrestleMania weekend happened. It was NXT Takeover UK, NXT Takeover New York, NY. And it was fantastic. I'm quite tired. I've had a couple of things to drink, but I've had a couple of hours or a couple of minutes to lull over my thoughts on the show. I rewatched a couple of the finishes just so I was sure of what happened at the finish. But this NXT Takeover show was breathtaking. It was just amazing. Like, when I looked at this Takeover card, it to me looked like the best Takeover card there had been. Walter and Pete Dunne, like Gargano and Cole, the War Raiders against Black and Ricochet, and Dream and Riddle all sound like world-class matches. And as you'll find out, spoiler, they were all world-class matches. So let's just get into this show. I'm tired, so I want to go to bed. So I want to do this review. I love doing these reviews because I love cataloguing my thoughts. I love putting these thoughts on my channel. The first match on the show was the tag team title match that pitted the War Raiders, who actually came out first with like massive drum entrance. It was kind of cool. Not as cool as the entrance in Phoenix, but it was kind of cool. The War Raiders, Hanson and Rowe, against the winners of the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic, Aleister Black and Ricochet. As far as moves in a match go, this was the best on the show. Like, Ricochet and Aleister Black had the best technical wrestling match on the show with the War Raiders. It was all about, this match was about Black against Rowe and Hanson against Ricochet. It was the striker of Black against the striker of Rowe against the striker of Ricochet, against the high flyer in Ricochet and the high flyer in Hanson, who they pointed out, which was a very interesting. I'm gonna need this Fanta. And this was like a pure great tag team wrestling match. It wasn't like a formulaic tag team match though, where you had shine, heat, because it didn't need that, because this was two babyface tag teams. This was basically all shine, like, and it was fantastic because of that. This is one of the most fun tag matches you will ever watch, because it's all shine. It is literally just all Aleister Black hitting knees, Raymond Rowe hitting knees, Ricochet flying about, hitting splashes and all this sort of stuff. Hanson in there hitting all these kicks and stuff. This was a great way to open the show. At one point, and this was my favourite spot of the match, you had Black and Rowe, and Ricochet and Hanson were down the outside, and Black and Rowe just stared at each other. And at that point, I thought Aleister Black could just be a member of the War Raiders. But Aleister Black and Rowe stared at each other, and it was almost like both men were seeing who would nudge first. And then Black just hit him with Black Mass, and it was like the best spot of the whole match. Like, it was stunning in its execution. Black hit him with a Black Mass. He tagged in Ricochet. Ricochet hit a shooting star press. 1, 2. As Black is holding Hanson, Hanson like spears Black into the pin to break up the pin. That was awesome. Ricochet went up for a 630 splash. He missed the 630 splash. Hanson, they took out Black on the outside with a lariat. Hanson and Rowe got in the ring. Ricochet tried to fight back with a pump kick. They killed him with the Iron Thor, or the pop-up Thor, or whatever they're calling it. The pop-up power slam. Hanson gave a suicide dive to Aleister Black. They got in the ring, they hit the fallout on Ricochet. 1, 2, 3, those guys won. There's a lot more to this match than I'm saying, but the ending is the best part, and it's a great match. It's very hard to remember a lot of what happened in it, but it is a fantastic little wrestling matchup between two tag teams who are the two best tag teams in the company at the minute. 4.25 stars, great opener. After the matchup, the War Raiders showed respect to Ricochet and Aleister Black, who bowed to the crowd, surely their swan song, as Mauro Ranallo put it, in NXT. 4.25 stars, great match, great way to open the show. I'd say slightly better than the opener to Phoenix. So, just keep that in mind as I conclude this show and as far as whether or not I think it's the best takeover ever. Second match on the show, Matt Riddle and Velveteen Dream for the North American title. This match had a little bit more story to it, and this was all about Riddle just kicking Velveteen Dream's ass, and it was breathtaking again its execution. Riddle killed Velveteen Dream. Velveteen Dream got a couple of hope spots in. He got his spinning reverse STO DDT. He got the Dream Valley driver. He went for the purple Rainmaker, but Riddle kept countering it into like the Bro Mission or just chokes or anything. There was this point where Riddle actually had... there was a lot of Germans as well in this, and Riddle hit a bunch of knees and stuff, and he locked in an ankle lock at one point, and that was really cool. But towards the end of the matchup, Riddle hit a apron German suplex, very similar to the Kota Ibushi one. Hit an apron German suplex on Dream, went up top, hit a moonsault into a swanton bomb, and Dream kicked out of that. That was a fantastic near fall. I really thought Riddle had it. At one point, Riddle locked in, and this was after Riddle hit. It was amazing. Velveteen Dream hit like a super kick. He went for something else. Riddle hit a power bomb, hit a knee out of that, locked him straight in the Bro Mission, like struck him loads in the gut while he was in the Bro Mission. It was just fantastic, well put together singles match. Like, it was just a fantastic, well put together singles match. As Riddle had him in the Bro Mission, Dream actually rolled through the Stone Cold Brett finish. He rolled through, grabbed the legs, 1, 2, 3. Velveteen Dream retained the North American title. Great matchup. There's so many spots that I'm missing out, in all honesty. And Velveteen Dream was excellent in this matchup. And he really proved to me that he is one of the best, in all honesty, the best developmental talent they've had from the Performance Center. Because all these other guys have come in and they've all been very experienced. Matt Riddle, the War Raiders, Aleister Black. If you look at the quality of the talent on the show, you've got the War Raiders, Aleister Black and Ricochet are all indie guys. You've got Matt Riddle, he's an indie guy. You've got Walter and Pete Dunne, they're indie guys. Like, you've got, in the women's match, you've got Io Shirai, Kairi, Shayna, and Bianca Belair. 3 of those are indie guys, or indie women. And in the main event, you've got Gargano and Cole, who are complete indie guys. Like, this was a complete indie show, but Velveteen Dream really did not stick out, and I think that's very impressive from a guy who is only, 25 now? Like, he's so impressive at his age. This loss does nothing for Riddle. Like, it really doesn't hurt him, because it showed that he got caught, as opposed to he got, like... It's very hard to explain. He got caught rather than he was silly and got pinned. Like, that's how it came off. This was a fantastic match. The last couple of minutes were excellent, very similar to the opener. I'm going to give this one 4.25 stars as well. I may have preferred this to the opener just because of the story and the pure selling from Dream, who was just getting pummeled for 90% of this matchup, as Riddle looked absolutely dominant. The third match on the show was the NXT UK Championship matchup. This was my most looked forward to match, and I think it was my friends Lewis and Chris. Shout outs, Lewis and Chris. We're going to be watching Mania on Sunday, and it's going to be even longer than this show. We all looked forward to this match the most. It was the champion Pete Dunne, 680-day reign, the best champion in modern WWE history, in my opinion, against Walter, or Walter, as they call him. This match, to me, was my most looked forward to match on the card, because I love Pete Dunne. He's my second favourite wrestler in the company, and Walter is the best man at chopping people. His chops are the best in wrestling. They are disgusting. They are lethal. They are minging. Like, they are... Oh, my God. And the beginning of this matchup... This match went 25 minutes, which actually impressed me, because I didn't think they'd get that much time. The beginning of this matchup was all about Pete Dunne avoiding the chop. Like, he avoided it. He tried, like, guillotines. And the thing about Pete Dunne, and when I went into this matchup, he's not very big, and Walter's quite big, so I was like, he's not going to hit the bitter end. He's not going to hit the X-Plex. And I was like, how is he going to beat him? I was like, he could use the choke, the guillotine, he could use an armbar, something like that. So he worked over he worked over Volta's hand. It was all about his joint manipulation, and that was more important in this match than it's been in any other match in his career in WWE. He worked over his hand, he worked over his hand, he worked over his hand. He did strikes and all this other cool stuff, and he flipped out of stuff and hit enziguri kicks. But at the end of the day, Volta finally got a chop, and when he hit that chop, Dunn literally died, and it was beautiful. Like, it was... Volta's chops are the best strike in wrestling because they feel the most important. Like, when you see them get hit, you feel the tide in a match turn. You feel like Volta is in complete control when he hits one of those chops. Dunn would counter back at one point, and this was my favourite spot of the match, where the men just looked at each other, and Dunn would get chopped by Volta, and Dunn would give him a massive forearm, and Volta would chop him, Dunn would give him a massive forearm, Volta would chop him, Dunn would give him a massive forearm, and then Volta would chop him, and then Dunn would give him a forearm and a forearm, and it was Dunn trying to fight back, and he was fighting back against the big heel Volta, who is a heel in this kind of match, but the crowd loved him. The crowd absolutely loved him on this show because he's breathtaking to watch. Like, if there was a wrestler I would like to see live, it would actually be Volta. Just because I think he'd kill people in front of me, and I think that sounds great. Volta hit the powerbomb for a near fall. Dunn kicked out of that. Dunn went for the guillotine choke, but Volta just got to the ropes. Dunn would work on the hand of Dunn. Sorry, Matt, there's just been a pop-up. I do apologise. Dunn would work on the hand of Volta again and again, pulling the fingers apart, pulling the fingers apart, pulling the fingers apart. Volta would keep selling it. It would keep selling it that, but would keep chopping with the right hand, which was fantastic. Dunn would lock in that guillotine. Obviously, Volta would get towards the ropes. Volta, towards the end of the matchup, just killed him with these just disgusting chops. Dunn would hit an enziguri at one point. He somehow got the bitter end. I have no idea how he hooked Volta for the bitter end. He hit the bitter end. Volta kicked out, which not many people kick out at the bitter end, so it's impressive. He was like, what do I do? Somehow Volta got to the top rope. Dunn would go up. He went to give him the guillotine on the top rope, but unfortunately, that was a bad idea for Pete Dunne because Volta gave him essentially the powerbomb is finished, but it was like a jackknife powerbomb off the top rope. He lobbed poor Pete Dunne across the ring. He didn't go to pin him though because he went up top, hit a massive splash on Pete Dunne. 1, 2, 3. The 680-day title reign of Pete Dunne is ended. A lot of people were angry that Volta beat him with a big splash. Johnny Gargano shirt today, by the way. A lot of people are angry that Volta beat him with a big splash. Mate, he's a big man. Like, if that man fell on you, you wouldn't kick out. I'm not going to lie. And I really liked that Volta decided, in all honesty, that he could not beat Pete Dunne with strikes because Pete Dunne was neck for neck going with Volta for strikes. Yes, Volta's strikes are fantastic and death-defying, but Pete Dunne's strikes aren't bad. So he was like, fuck it, I'll just hit him with a massive splash after a jackknife powerbomb off the top rope and that should pin him. And it was so weird seeing Pete Dunne lose because Pete Dunne doesn't lose. And a lot of people... I've seen a couple of different ratings for this match. I am so tempted to go 5 stars. Like, I love this, watching this. I love Volta. I think Volta is one of the best minimalist wrestlers in the world. He gets so much out of so little. His chops are the peak of wrestling because there is nothing that's going to hurt you in them. You're going to hurt him, definitely. But, mate, there's no worry in doing a chop. Like, Ric Flair's chops in the 80s were nothing on Volta's chops. And Ric Flair's chops were one of the most iconic things of the 80s in wrestling. And Dunn in this match was amazing. Like, I don't want to take anything away from Dunn because I think it was breathtaking in this match, especially in defeat. And I really want to give it 5 stars. But I'm not going to give it 5 stars. I'm going to give it 4 3/4 because I would like to see either them redo this, or I would like to see Volta's next match be a 5-star match in WWE. Now, a lot of people are giving this 4.5. I'm going 4 3/4 because I love the style. I love the UK style. I love Pete Dunne. I love Volta. He's now become my top 5 favorite guy in WWE because of his minimalist style. I love his stance. I love his stance like that, especially when he has the belt over his shoulder. It just reeks of a Star Wars villain, or of Darkseid was my example. Darkseid does that pose in the DC universe, and it reeks of just a villain who needs to be taken off his perch, and he won't be for a long time, and that is completely fine because he is fantastic as a villain. And when he comes to the main roster, he needs to be fighting Joe and Strowman and Lesnar, and he needs to be in wars with them where he can win because he's amazing. He's only 32 years old. He's got loads of upside, and he is amazing. I love Volta so much. I love Pete Dunne too. This match was fantastic. I'm going to give it 4 3/4 stars though. I'm so sorry, guys. 4 3/4 stars. Best match on the show so far. Breathtaking match. Awesome match. I loved it. Next up, we had the Women's Fatal 4-Way for the NXT Women's Championship. A whole NXT card of championship matches. I don't think that's ever happened before. We had the champion, Shayna Baszler, Io Shirai, Kairi Sane, and Bianca Belair, who, of course, lost in Phoenix. I thought this matchup, the best thing this had going for it was anyone could win. I picked Shayna Baszler in our predictions, which I'll talk about again at the end. But I think anyone could have won this. Io Shirai could have won this. Kairi could have won this, in all fairness. And Bianca Belair could have won this too. And I thought this matchup was very even in giving each woman a nice segment. It wasn't just one-on-one, 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 one-on-one. There was great 3-way spots, especially with Io Shirai and Kairi, who would work on both women, until they both broke up each other's pinfalls. Then they were like, shit, this is a fatal 4-way. We are against each other. We should fight each other. And they fought each other, and it was awesome. The beginning bit, which was just all the women just doing spots immediately, where Kairi hit an interceptor, not an interceptor, the blockbuster at the end of it, was so fun. And I haven't seen a woman's fatal 4-way with so much pace to it at the beginning in quite some time. So kudos to the women for really trying to follow the Volta match, the Pete Dunne match. And they did try, they really did try. And the crowd were into every match on the show, and that really did help. But they in all fairness, the stuff that you remember as part of this match is specifically all the stuff towards the end. So, Shayna at one point hitting the knee, and Kairi hitting the interceptor and the elbow, and Io Shirai, and those two women, Io Shirai and Kairi, both getting near falls, which was a very interesting idea for a match they could have, number 1 contenders maybe, even at a takeover, because they'd have a great match on a takeover. But at the end, really, it was there's a hair whip on the, I think as Kairi was going for the elbow, Bianca Belair got on the top rope, gave her the hair whip, went in the ring, got Io Shirai, went for the KOD, but then got Kairi as well, hit them both with the KOD at once, which was really impressive. But then Shayna came in, locked her in the rear naked choke, the Kirifuda clutch, and Bianca Belair tapped out to the Kirifuda clutch. It was a great finish. It really was a great finish to a really well put together match that I'd give 3 3/4 stars. Very, very well put together matchup. Not quite great. 4 stars is where I put great matches, but a really, really well put together matchup. And as far as 4-ways go, especially for the women, not as many. There aren't many as 4-way matches as good as this one. So kudos to the 4 women. After the matchup, Shayna walked up the ramp and met Duke and Chauffeur. It's very interesting because I don't think a lot of people thought Baszler was gonna retain. She's probably the favorite, but I picked Baszler in my predictions. So sweet. So yeah, 3 3/4 stars up. Not quite as good as the rest of the show, but still very, very good match. And then the main event, 2 out of 3 falls. Adam Cole, baby, against Johnny Gargano for the the vacant NXT title. Fortunately, Tommaso Ciampa had to relinquish the belt because he's injured again, which is really sad because I really would have liked to have seen him and Gargano one more time, and I would have liked to see Gargano take the belt. But the match we got between Cole and Gargano was breathtaking. And in terms of moves and like actual wrestling, it was probably the second or third weakest match on the show. But I think that in terms of the finish, it was the most important thing and the best thing on the show because it finally concluded the arc of Johnny Gargano. Like, I believe that a great wrestling match should have great wrestling, but I think sometimes, as much as people say it's about the journey, not the destination, sometimes, vice versa, it should be about the destination and not the journey. And Gargano, spoiler alert, Gargano went on to win the NXT title, and I'll talk about the match spots in a minute. And that, to me, I was happy. I was buzzing after Gargano won the NXT title because it felt almost right. Like not even like he'd earned it, because I don't really feel like wrestlers earn title belts, but because it's like a fake industry and it's all predetermined, but almost like it's just the way it should be. Like, Gargano should have won the belt here anyway, really. So you may as well just give him it anyway. The match, though, the first fall was a little bit slow, and I think that's why many people won't have enjoyed it as much as I did. It was a little bit slow until Cole would win with the last shot to the back of the head. The second fall was how did Gargano win? Oh, sorry, I do remember now. Gargano in the second fall, he won it with the Gargano escape. Naturally, in 2 out of 3 falls matches, it's all about the third fall. And the third fall in this matchup, the second fall ended at 20 minutes. So I was like, shit, we're going distance with this one. And the length to this matchup, we went 38 minutes, really did help because Adam Cole hasn't had a match this long in NXT. And I really do think this actually helped Adam Cole's stock quite a lot. The last fall in this matchup was really great wrestling storytelling. Really great wrestling pantomime, in all honesty. Like, the wrestling didn't have to be great. It was. But the actual story they were telling was all that really mattered. And it was all about Gargano in the last fall. He was down a fall at the beginning because he got caught by the last shot. In the second fall, he brought it back with a Gargano skate where Cole tapped immediately because that's smart booking. And in the last fall, it was all about Gargano overcoming Black. He hit Cole. He hit a DDT on a slingshot DDT on the apron. Like, he hit the draping DDT at one point, Ciampa's draping DDT, which I thought was cool, and then he hit the slingshot DDT, which is also cool. Cole, in this last fall, hit the Florida Keys, which is the straightjacket German suplex they used in Ring of Honor. He hit the Panama Sunrise, which is the Canadian Destroyer. Gargano kicked out of that. Like, these two men in this last fall, they were given everything. They were given the book. They were given super kicks galore. They both hit 1 billion super kicks. Gargano at one point got a top rope reverse Frankensteiner and then a super kick, which was awesome. Then towards the end, Gargano locked in Gargano escape. The Undisputed Era came out. Sorry, there's a pop-up again. I do apologize. Gargano had the Gargano escape, and I believe the Undisputed Era came out. They stopped Gargano as the referee was distracted by Roderick Strong. Kyle O'Reilly stopped by Gargano, sorry. Gargano's eyes had been raked, so he pushed the referee out of the ring. Strong and I think O'Reilly got in the ring. I'm sorry, it was Fish and O'Reilly. They gave total elimination to Gargano. Cole pinned him. 1-2, Gargano kicked out. Cole was like, shit, what do I do? Gave him a super kick, hit the last shot. 1-2, Gargano kicked out. He said something. He went for another last shot. Gargano ducked it, locked him in the Gargano escape. Cole fought, but eventually tapped out. And that is just the way it should be. In all honesty, Gargano, my boy, my favorite wrestler in the company, he really should have won the belt. And it's just the way that the takeover should have ended. Last year's NXT Takeover obviously ended with Gargano winning. this year's NXT Takeover ended with Gargano winning. I can imagine that there aren't many NXT Takeover WrestleMania shows where the same person wins year after year. So, but yeah, great match. I am going to give this 5 stars because, as far as a wrestling match goes, as I said, it was either the second or third in terms of the moves. But I think in terms of the feel, the crowd were proper into this, and this went 38 minutes after a 15-minute women's match, a 25-minute UK title match, which is the longest UK title match I believe they've ever done. This match just, you know what, it did excel my expectations because the wrestling was fantastic and they brought out things I didn't think I'd see. Cole doing a Panama Sunrise was impressive, and it was something I didn't think the company would have the balls to do. The Florida Key was a Ring of Honor move that he never does in WWE, really. So it was like a really nice end to the career of Adam Cole in NXT, and I imagine the Undisputed Era, and a really nice finalization that Gargano is Mr. Takeover. He is Mr. NXT in NXT, and that's why I think I'm going to give it 5 stars, because it is a purely fantastic piece of wrestling pantomime that is probably the best piece of wrestling pantomime I'll ever watch, and that's why I'm going to give it 5 stars. And after Gargano won, Candice LeRae came out and hugged him, and as he got to the top of the ramp, Tommaso Ciampa came out, and he also gave him a hug and raised his hand. Both men have won the NXT titles, and it looks like Tommaso Ciampa will be out for injury for a while, but by the time Ciampa comes back, I imagine he'll be on the main roster, and I imagine Gargano may even be on the main roster too. Where does Gargano go from here? Riddle for the title, Pete Dunne, maybe. There's a couple of options. I think Pete Dunne will get promoted to the NXT main roster now that he's lost the UK title. I do hope that the UK the bandwagon that people are really enjoying this UK show, and it is a great show, the NXT UK show. I hope people don't stop watching it because Volta and the grizzled young veterans, Zack Gibson and James Drake, they're fantastic. They had a great match on the Blackpool show, which I still haven't reviewed. But yeah, I think that NXT is, as I say I feel like every takeover, in the best position it can be. And after the second matchup, the Velveteen Dream Matt Riddle matchup, I didn't want to forget to mention this. Kushida was announced to have signed. His announcement had been released on Facebook. That's where I saw it. But obviously they announced it on the TakeOver show as well. They showed that Kushida was in the crowd. Kushida versus Matt Riddle sounds great. Kushida versus Johnny Gargano sounds great. Kushida's a great little junior that they cannot put in the cruiserweight division. They better not. But yeah, TakeOver is just... The thing is, I feel like I fanboy for TakeOver, but at the end of the day, I love TakeOver. I love the UK title match. I love the main event. I love everything in between. And that is my NXT TakeOver New York review. At the end of the day, I'm going to give this a 10 out of 10. This was a breathtaking show. As far as saying it's the best TakeOver, I don't want to do that because I could say it was the better than Phoenix just because it's match. Just because the women's match was better than the women's match on Phoenix. And I think the main event on this show was probably as good as the Ricochet Gargano match on that show. And the UK title match on this show, which I actually didn't give 5 stars to, was better than anything on that show other than the Black Ciampa match. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching. This has been Raw vs. Lot. Like, comment, subscribe for more. Tell me your thoughts. What did you think to the NXT TakeOver show? What did you think to Johnny Gargano finally winning the NXT title? What did you think to Shayna Baszler retaining? Volta winning the UK title? Amazing. Volta's amazing. How hard do you think Volta's chops are? What do you think to Velveteen Dream retaining against Matt Riddle? Is it a bit of a shock? And what do you think to the War Raiders and Aleister Black? Do you think that was one of the best openers in NXT history? Probably one of them. As I said, I don't think it's as good as the Mustache Mount. I would say it wasn't as good as the Mustache Mount or Undisputed Era match from Brooklyn, but better than the Era War Raiders match from Phoenix. Thanks for watching, guys. This has been Raw vs. Lot. I'll see you in a couple of days for Mania. That is going to be a long show.